I don't even know where to begin. You were on the Seraphim station for 13 months. There was never anybody else on board. Are you sure there was no one else?
Well, that's why they call it a solo mission.
You're pregnant.
But that's not possible.
Ooh, that just looks good. Of course, is Halle Berry starring in the new science fiction series Extant, premiering July 9th right here on CBS. It is a great example of how summer TV has changed over the past decade or so. Once dominated by reruns and canceled pilots, it is now a showcase season for some of the year's most original programming. So let's get a preview of what's on tap this summer with Michael Ausiello, founder and editor-in-chief of TVLine.com. Good morning.
Morning.
When did this change happen? When did we start seeing new programming in the summer months?
Well, it started probably 14 years ago when Survivor came on the scene, but it has really intensified in recent years. The broadcast networks are realizing that they're losing too much ground to cable in the summer particularly, and there's an appetite for original programming, and they can't risk just putting reruns on anymore.
CBS saw that last summer with Under the Dome, which did really well. Extant is the latest entry here. As we saw, Halle Berry is in it. Steven Spielberg is the executive producer. That's a pretty big name.
Yeah, pretty big name. A lot of expectations surrounding this project. Basically, Halle Berry plays an astronaut who comes back from a 13-month mission, solo mission, pregnant. Why is she pregnant? That's one of the mysteries. It's a limited series, so we're going to get answers by the end, which is great.
Let's talk about the comedy from NBC, Welcome to Sweden. We were talking about it because it's such an interesting name, but it also has Amy Poehler's brother in it.
Right. Who knew she even had a brother? Well, we know now. And it's basically, it's about his real life, Greg Poehler, about an accountant who meets the woman of his dreams, follows her to Sweden. It's a fish out of water tale. There are some subtitles, but don't let that turn you off. It's a really sweet comedy.
It's got a very interesting title. Moving on to HBO, they have a thriller called The Leftovers, which is about the rapture?
It's Rapture-esque. And Justin Theroux stars, but the real star here is Damon Lindelof, who created Lost. This is his first big series since Lost. And basically what happens when 2% of the world population vanishes without explanation. We pick up 3 years later and we find out, what happened and what happened to the people left behind.
For all the folks who love FX, they're in luck because they have a great director, Guillermo del Toro, and he's doing a new horror series called The Strain. What exactly is The Strain about?
Well, first of all, this scared the crap out of me. Do not watch it alone. Imagine if vampirism was a plague and it spread through little worms in people's eyes.
Oh.
Horrifying. Don't watch it alone, trust me. But it's not like your typical vampire show. It's not campy. It's a very serious and spooky.
I was very intrigued by the clip we played going into the commercial from BBC America, the series called Almost Royal, which is billed as both a reality show and a sitcom. I'm not sure how that works, but what is this show exactly?
Well, it's like Borat and also very similar to The Daily Show, where you have two actors who are interacting with real people, everyday people, and they don't really know that they're opposite actors. Basically, there are two British aristocrats. They play two British aristocrats who are enmeshed in American culture, and they really bring out the absurdities of American life. It's very fun.
It was only a matter of time before somebody blended those genres together,
absolutely.
right?
Yeah.
On ABC, they have something called The Quest, and this is from the makers of The Amazing Race, right?
And Lord of the Rings, believe it or not. So you're meshing those two worlds. It's a reality show set in this mythical kingdom, and basically the true hero will emerge in the end, and the goal is to save this kingdom. It looks just stupid enough to work, I have to tell you.
All right, one more finally. Patrick Dempsey, also known as McSteamy from Grey's Anatomy. There's something called The Last Ship, which I guess is not about luxury cruise lines?
It's actually Eric Dane who played McSteamy on Grey's Anatomy. No, it's not about luxury cruise lines. Eric Dane is a Navy captain who is on a ship while 80% of the population gets wiped out. They have to find a cure.
All right, I got my McDreamy and my McSteamy mixed up.
It happens.
They are both handsome, so I'll take either.
Michael Ausiello, thanks so much.